Welcome to my summer forecast, final summer forecast for the summer 2013. This is part 1 out of 3, JAMSTEC runs and discussion, which will be probably the shortest. This part 2 will come out in a few hours, and part 3 either by tomorrow morning or later tonight too. So this is part 1, JAMSTEC runs and discussion. And here is the JAMSTEC surface air temperature anomaly. As you see, this shows that the central US, much of the central US will be under a heat wave, and I pretty much agree with that. This also shows that there will be a cool southwest and a slightly above average northwest. Some of these things I do not agree exactly with. I think that all of the west will be below average, as well as the Great Lakes region below average. Well, this shows it well above average, and portions of the northeast still slightly below average too. I kind of agree that portions of the southeast will be average, but I think it will be slightly below average too, maybe along the Gulf Coast, or maybe here along Virginia or North Carolina. And Alaska is gonna be warm. I'm not really covering Alaska. This is the May run. Now, here is the precipitation anomaly. And I pretty much agree with much of this. I agree there will be dryness over the middle part of the country, maybe a little bit more eastward, maybe like this. But I think it'll be a little drier, and it says that just a slightly below average precipitation. I think it could be an increasing drought across portions of Oklahoma and Kansas. Probably will be above average in the northwest and average in the southwest, and the most precipitation will happen here along the coast here, or maybe along the Gulf Coast. Yeah, maybe along the Mid-Atlantic coast or the Gulf Coast, as well as possibly along this area of the northern tier of the country. But the central US will be the driest area. And here is the sea surface temperature anomaly, and there will be some cool waters down here, and that's a La Nina. There will be warm waters in the Gulf of Mexico, and that will favor some tropical development there. There will be very warm waters here, so tropical development will happen here, they'll move here, and it will be supported by the slightly warm waters here, so likely will survive to the Gulf Coast. But the waters aren't too cool in these areas either, so some storms might possibly weaken but still survive to portions of the East Coast, although the more dangerous threats seems to be for the Gulf Coast. But I no longer think they'll be blocking these areas, maybe a slight blocking somewhere here, but probably not. I've changed that idea. So that's pretty much the JAMSTEC runs, and overall I agree with some of it. Here's the summary. So it looks like there will be the most of the heat and dryness in the central US. It will be abnormally cool for the desert southwest, and the southeast might be cooled a bit by possible tropical systems. That pretty much sums up the JAMSTEC. Please join me for part 2 out of 3 of my final summer forecast, which will come out in a few hours. It will include my temperature, precipitation, drought, and severe weather outlooks. Parts 3 out of 3 will come out later with the hurricane outlooks. If you have any comments, questions, and/or feedback, feel free to leave them. Please visit WeatherPlus.wordpress.com and like our Facebook page too. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out part 2 out of 3.